With some news just in. The United Nations Security Council has unanimously voted to lift sanctions on Eritrea. The punitive measures imposed in 2009 halted weapons supplies and placed travel bans and assets freezers on certain government officials over concern that Eritrea was supporting Shabaab militants operating in the region. Sherwin Bryce-Pease filed this report from the UN.
赞成 S-2018-1010号文件。
Will those in favor of the draft resolution please raise their hand?
In the Council that the sanctions first imposed almost a decade ago and tightened in subsequent years should go.
To lift the sanction is a timely response to the major political development that is unfolding in the Horn of Africa. Above all, it will also give impetus, a fresh breath and energy to look into what the future will offer to the region, while it will allow us to deal with current challenges.
The sanctions were strengthened in 2011, 2 years after its initial imposition, particularly over Eritrea's refusal to resolve a border dispute with Djibouti, which remains an outstanding issue. The resolution passed Wednesday urges Eritrea to work with its neighbour towards normalising relations and settling this dispute. A monitoring group established by the Council has also increasingly found scant evidence to support claims that Eritrea continues to support armed groups in the region. The lifting of sanctions characterised as both important for the region and the international community.
This is a really welcome development that we can lift sanctions. It's welcome in the region. It shows that the region, the countries concerned, Ethiopia, Eritrea, Djibouti, Somalia, have all made great efforts to move political processes forward and to reach agreement. So it's important for specific regional reasons. It's also important for wider reasons. It shows that sanctions can be lifted. Sanctions are a means to an end. They are a means to advance progress, political progress. They're a means to stop conflict. I think this region of Africa has done the international community a big favour today by showing that it can be done.
I think it's the Council also acknowledges when there are positive change, in this case really coming out of courageous decisions by the leaders, not least in Ethiopia and Eritrea. And they will have, we already see that, have positive repercussions for the entire Horn of Africa.
But concerns remain about the broader democratization of Eritrean society and its dismal human rights record.
Well, the lifting in itself is not a condonement. No, I think it's a very strong signal that when Eritrea and Ethiopia have solved their problems, it's also high time that in those times when Eritrea internal repression was legitimized, one might say, by international tension, that this kind of relaxation is a good basis for improving the human rights situation. And that's why we'll continue pushing both here, but also on a bilateral basis, that a country like Eritrea should cooperate with the Human Rights Council mechanisms.
The resolution also asks the Secretary-General Antonio Guterres to report back to Council on progress by February 15th, and thereafter at 6-month intervals. Sherwin Bryce-Pease, SABC News, New York.